Singapore, a city often described as futuristic, efficient, immaculate, which, loosely translated, means it works properly all of the time. But beneath that polished skyline lies something far more interesting.
And today, we're tracing that story the most immersive way possible, by bike. Let's go!
Hold on, lady, I really want to talk to you.
Our 4-hour adventure with Lion City Highlights bike tour, also known as Bike Around Tour Singapore, began as we were swiftly equipped and sent out into the city. No fuss, no drama, and no helmets.
I want to know if we can get to whenever you can come around.
For a few surreal moments, we were riding next to the same asphalt used by Formula One drivers. Normally, this place is deafening. Today, it's just us.
Hard to believe it's nearly been 20 years of the Singapore Grand Prix under lights, and it feels a little bit underwhelming doing 8 kilometres an hour here in front of Pitt Straight, but you can just imagine the atmosphere here when the Singapore Grand Prix is on. Love to come one year.
In this romance, I promise I ain't fooling around.
And then, the city decides to show off. Marina Bay, all steel, glass, and staggering ambition. This is what happens when a nation decides mediocrity simply isn't acceptable.
We got the world in the palm of our hands. Oh, baby, won't you? Whatever you fancy is mine.
10 years ago, there was very little cycling here in Singapore, but today it's exploded, and it is one of the best ways to see downtown Singapore. Incredible.
It's the whole night through.
At Merlion Park, we meet what only can be described as a mythological branding exercise. The Merlion, half lion, half fish. The fish reflects Singapore's beginnings as a fishing village. The lion? I'm not sure from Singapore, but it is the Lion City. We arrive at Lau Pa Sat, or, as it's more affectionately known, Satay Street. Now, on paper, this is simply a hawker centre. In reality, it's an all-out assault on your senses. And the moment you realise this, you realise something very important. This is where we're coming back for lunch.
Okay, let's go to Chinatown. Chinatown makes
Now let's address the two unavoidable truths of cycling in Singapore. The heat, which surprisingly isn't trying to kill us, thanks to a steady breeze and a very civilised pace. The second, however, is the saddle. With over 2.5 hours still to go, let's just say certain parts of the anatomy are starting to file the odd complaint.
Ran the human race, yet here we are, face to face, right back where we fell, standing.
In Chinatown, things change. The pace slows. The air thickens with history and incense. Early Chinese migrants came here with very little and built something extraordinary. Trade built this city. Hardship shaped it, and community held it all together.
Oh, okay. Face inwards, face inwards. And the best is to cross your leg. You must cross your leg. Okay, watch out. This is the oldest Hindu temple in Singapore. Indian Hindu temple, the oldest one in Singapore. Sri Mariamman Temple.
And just when you think Singapore is all glass and steel, it quietly reminds you it's not. Greenery is everywhere, not as an afterthought, but by design. An entire city determined to let nature back in.
Program. They also learn music, dance, theatre, School of the Arts.
Now, let's talk logistics. For 2 adults, this little adventure will set you back about 190 Australian dollars, which, for 4 hours of this, feels entirely reasonable. What do you need? Water, obviously, sunscreen, unless you fancy resembling a lobster, and something breathable, because this is still Singapore. Minimum age is 8, so yes, the kids can keep up. And rain or shine, this goes ahead, which frankly would just add to the drama.
Because on the next street from Arrow Street onwards is near the mosque.
As we roll out of Haji Lane, I'm pleased to report the backsides are still intact. Barely, but intact. Which, given the circumstances, feels like a win. But before this 4-hour adventure comes to a close, there's one final stop. Something far more grounded. The Sultan Mosque. An anchor to the Malay and Arab communities, who helped shape this city long before the skyscrapers arrived. Holden, you were the perfect guide. Thank you. And as for Singapore, exploring it on 2 wheels might just be the perfect way to see it.
What a fantastic way to see Singapore. 4 hours on a bike. That was so much fun. I'm going to leave a link in the description if you're coming to Singapore and you want to book your own 4-hour guided tour with Bike Around Tour Singapore. So link in the description for that. We are super hungry after all of that riding, so we're going to go off to a hawker centre and have something for lunch. And we'll see you guys on the next one.